Hello everyone. Welcome back to the course of Computer Networks. This is my third video on computer networks. This video is brought to you by Newton's Group of Institutions. This is Arvind Egreddy from Department of CSE. In this video, we will discuss about TCP IP reference model. In the last video, we have discussed about one of the reference model, that is OSI reference model. Now in today's video, we will discuss about TCP IP reference model and comparison of the OSI and TCP IP model. The OSI model, it is just a reference or a logical model. It was designed to describe the functions of the communication system by dividing the communication procedure into smaller and simpler components. So here, let us now turn from the OSI reference model to the reference model used in the grandparent of all the wide area networks. But when we talk about the TCP IP model, it was designed and developed by the Department of Defense, DoD, in 1960s and is based on the standard protocols. It stands for Transmission Control Protocol / Internet Protocol. So here the TCP IP model is a concise version of the OSI model. It consists of 4 layers unlike the 7 layers in the OSI model. So here the 4 layers are process or application layer, host to host or transport layer, internet layer, network access or link layer. So here in this diagram, let us see the comparison of the TCP IP and OSI model as follows. So here the OSI and TCP IP models have much in common. Both are based on the concept of stack of independent protocols, and also the functionality of these layers is roughly similar. For example, in both the layers up through and including the transport layer, all of them provide the end-to-end network independent transport service to process the wishing to communicate. So again, in both the models, the layer above the transport are application oriented layers and they provide users a transparent service. So here we can see that the network access layer, which is equivalent to the combination of the physical layer and the data link layer, and the internet layer, which is equivalent to the network layer, and the application layer in the TCP IP model is roughly doing the job of the sessions layer, presentation layer and application layer, which are present in the OSI model. Now in this session, we will focus on the key difference between the two reference models. Here, we are comparing the reference models, but not the corresponding protocol stacks. Now, in TCP refers to the transmission control model, and the OSI refers to the open system interconnection model. And the TCP has 5 layers and the OSI has 7 layers. TCP IP is more reliable, whereas OSI is less reliable. And TCP IP does not have very strict boundaries, whereas the OSI has some strict boundaries. TCP IP follow a horizontal approach and OSI follows a vertical approach. And TCP IP uses both the session and presentation layers in the application layer itself, whereas the OSI uses a different sessions and presentation layers. TCP IP developed protocol then model, whereas OSI developed model rather than a protocol. Here the transport layer in the TCP IP does not provide the assurance delivery of the packets, whereas in the OSI model, transport layer provides an assurance delivery of the packets. TCP IP model in the network layer only provides the connectionless services, whereas connectionless and connection oriented, both the services are being provided by the network layer in the OSI model. So here the protocol cannot be replaced easily in the TCP IP model, whereas in the OSI model, protocols are better covered and it is very easy to replace with the changes in the technology. Now, coming to the network access layer. So this network access layer is the first layer. So the first layer is the process layer on behalf of the sender, and the network access layer on the behalf of the receiver. So now let us discuss on behalf of the receiver. So this layer corresponds to the combination of data link layer and the physical layer of the OSI model. It looks out for hardware addressing, and the protocol presented in this layer allows for the physical transmission of the data. So below the internet layer is a great void. The TCP IP reference model does not really say much about what happens here, except the point out that the host has to connect to the network using some protocol. So it can send IP packets to it, and this protocol is not defined and varies from host to host and from network to network. Now coming to the internet layer. So this layer, which is parallel to the functions of the OSI network layer. So it defines the protocols which are responsible for logical transmission of data over the entire network. So here the main protocols rendering at this layer are Internet Protocol, Internet Control Message Protocol, and Address Resolution Protocol, that is ARP. Here the Internet Protocol, which is abbreviated as IP, which is responsible for delivering the packets from the source host to the destination host by looking at the IP address in the packet header. Here IP has two versions. One is IPv4 and IPv6. IPv4 is the one that most of the websites are using correctly, but IPv6 is growing as the number of IPv4 addresses are limited in number compared to that of the number of users. The second one is Inter-Control Message Protocol, which is being abbreviated as ICMP. So it encapsulates within the IP diagrams and is responsible for providing the host with information about the network problems. Now coming to the third one, that is Address Resolution Protocol, ARP. Its job is to find the hardware address of the host from a known IP address. Here ARP has 7 types. One is reverse ARP, proxy ARP, gregarious ARP, and inverse ARP. Now coming to the host to host or transport layer. So this layer is the analogous to the transport layer of the OSI model. It is responsible for end-to-end communication and error-free delivery of the data. It shields the upper layer applications from the complexities of the data, and here the two main protocols present in this layer are TCP and UDP, that is Transmission Control Protocol, TCP. It is known to provide reliable and error-free communication between end systems. It performs sequencing and segmentation of data. It also helps acknowledging the future and controls the flow of data through flow control mechanism. So it is a very effective protocol, but has a lot of overheads due to such features. So increased overheads leads to overcost. Now coming to the second one, that is User Datagram Protocol, UDP. UDP on the other hand does not provide any such features. So it is the go-to protocol, and if your application does not require any reliable transport as it is very cost effective. So Unlike TCP, which is connection oriented protocol, UDP is a connectionless protocol. And coming to the layer, last layer, that is application layer. So this layer performs the functions of the top three layers of the OSI model, that is application, presentation and sessions layer. So here it is responsible for node to node communication and controls user interface specifications. So here some of the protocols present in this layer are HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, TFTP, Telnet, SSH, SMTP, SNMP, NTP, DNS, DHCP, NFS and LDP. Now let us also discuss about some of these protocols, that is HTTP and HTTP. Here HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It is used by the World Wide Web to manage the communication between the web browser and the servers. Now the second one is HTTPS, which stands for HTTP Security. It is a combination of HTTP and SSL, Secure Socket Layer. It is efficient in the case when the browser needs to fill out the forms, or it need to sign in, or we need some authentication, or when we need to carry some bank transactions. So it is more secure. And SSH, here SSH stands for Secure Shell. It is a terminal which emulates software similar to the Telnet. The reason SSH is more preferred is because of its ability to maintain the encrypted connections, and it sets up a secure session over the TCP/IP connection. Now coming to the NTP, here NTP stands for Network Time Protocol, and it is used to synchronize the clocks on our computer to one standard time source. It is very useful in situations like bank transactions and assumes the following situations without the presence of NTP. Suppose you carry a transaction where your computer reads the time at 2:30 p.m. while the server records it as 2:28 p.m. So the server can crash very badly if it's out of synchronization. Now coming to FTP, here FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, and it is used to send or receive the file from remote computer. FTP establishes connection between the client system and the server system. Now coming to TFTP, here TFTP stands for Trivial File Transfer Protocol. It is simpler than FTP, but here the file transfer between the client and the server process does not provide user authentication and other useful features that are being supported in the FTP. Now coming to Telnet. So here Telnet is an application protocol used on the internet or local area network to provide a bidirectional interactive test oriented communication facility using a virtual terminal connection. SMTP. Here SMTP is part of the application layer of the TCP/IP protocol, which is using a process called as store and forward. Next one is SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol, is an internet standard protocol for collecting and organizing information about managed devices of the IP network and for modifying that information to change the device behavior. Now coming to NTP, the Network Time Protocol, which is a networking protocol for clock synchronization between the computer system over packet switched and variable latency data networks. Now coming to DNS, the domain name system, is a hierarchical and decentralized naming system of the computer services or other resource connected to the internet or private networks. Now Another one, that is DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, which is a network management protocol used on the Internet Protocol network. So it is used to automate the process of configuration on the IP network. And the next one is NFS, Network File System, which is a distributed file system protocol originally developed by Sun Microsystems in 1984. And LDP, Label Distribution Protocol, which is a protocol in which routers are capable of multi-protocol label switching to exchange label map information.
ప్రపంచ ప్రసిద్ధి పొందిన విద్యా నిలయ స్థాపకులు ఆచార్య నాగార్జునుడు నడయాడిన నేలలో అమరావతి రాజధాని ప్రతిష్టాత్మక విద్యా సంస్థ న్యూటన్స్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ కాలేజ్ మాచర్ల 2001లో స్థాపించబడి ప్రతి విద్యార్థి చదువులో ఎదగాలనే ఉన్నత లక్ష్యంతో ఇంజనీరింగ్ విద్యను గత 16 ఏళ్లుగా అంకిత భావంతో అందిస్తున్న సంస్థ. సృష్టికి ప్రతి సృష్టి చేసేది ఇంజనీర్లైతే అటువంటి అత్యుత్తమ ఇంజనీర్లను సృష్టిస్తున్న సంస్థ న్యూటన్స్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ కాలేజ్. అద్భుత.
Thank you all. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for the latest notifications.